Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Uncensored Events podcast. Today, we have our CEO and owner, Jacques Massachi, with us. Jacques, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you.
So lucky to have you. Today, if you don't mind, I would just love to learn a little bit about your story, how you got to LA, how you landed specifically here and got involved in the events industry, and how you dreamed up wanting to create different venues in the city.
Well, it's a long story, but I started my first job in Los Angeles right after I graduated from college. I started my first business in 1981, and it was an automotive business. And later on, the way I got involved with the venues was through a property I purchased in Hollywood, which was an old mansion. It was called Lombardi House, and I was gonna buy this property to do a development. And later I find out that this property actually is historical, and I cannot do the project I was intending to do. And so I had no idea what I'm gonna do with it. It was just that I was stuck with the property that I purchased for some other reason, and I didn't know what to do with it.
Sounds a little scary.
It was very scary. It took me about 8 years to build Lombardi House to its original condition, and it was very challenging. And after I finished it, I figured out that if I lease this property to anybody, it became so beautiful that there's no way they're gonna leave. It was just one of those magical property, and I was doing every possible thing that I have to figure out something that I should just hold on to it as much as I can without renting it as an apartment building. And then there was a barn. The story of the barn is this property actually was a horse property, and the barn was a shack on the side of the property that I was going to demo and make a rose garden out of it. And because I did not want to, after I completed the building and got my certificate of occupancy, I was just waiting for some magical way of not renting the building as a rental unit. So, long story short, I uh, developed I went to Pinterest. I look at every barn on the Pinterest I could find, and I built the barn, the current barn at the site. And then this is how we got into the business of events, and the barn was magical and changed everything about that property. And we became the Lombardi House became our first venue.
That is an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone that doesn't know, I would absolutely recommend going on to our Instagram or our website. There are so many pictures of Lombardi House to see how far this venue really came. The barn is absolutely magical, like he mentioned. It's all white, super modern farmhouse vibes. I mean, the property is just stunning. So was that your first project that you kind of created from
Yes.
start to finish?
Yes. We built that building based upon its original look, but everything about it is new. It is a really, honestly, magical property in a way that when we finished it, I was interviewed by numbers of news organizations and magazines, including New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Venue reporters, and it was a hit from the beginning. And it's a magical. I recommend everybody come and see it. It's really a magical property right in the middle of Hollywood, lush property.
So you started Lombardi. That was a complete success. You were published about the property. You've had, insane media attention about Lombardi for the last several years. And then your second project was Casita Hollywood. So how did that one get started?
Again, you give me a lemon, I make a lemonade from
Yeah.
it. Casita Hollywood was a Sizzler, an old Sizzler, one of the old Sizzler that was there since 1964.
And just for anybody that doesn't know, a Sizzler is a restaurant.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sizzler restaurant. We bought the property to assemble the property because we own the next adjacent properties. And then we tried to market it as a restaurant for a long time. It did not really go through. So we decided that, we have to really rethink about this project. And I brought my interior designers, and we made that venue completely, changed it from what originally Sizzler looked. We made a beautiful garden for it with nano doors to it, and it's been also a very good success. We've been doing very good in that property. The Lombardi House and Casita Hollywood. They are really truly a sister property. They are not like each other, and they just have a different look and feel, but they're both great.
Yeah, Casita, as we mentioned before, Lombardi is more of that modern farmhouse, beautiful green property, while Casita is a little more industrial modern. So a lot more like gold metal features. We have a beautiful laminated marbled floor, a lot of windows. So a lot of indoor outdoor options, just like Lombardi House,
And a full
but
kitchen,
and
and
a
a
full
full
commercial kitchen,
commercial
which is
kitchen.
very helpful for the vendors that we want to bring in. We work with a lot of wonderful exclusive caterers that absolutely love this feature at this space because they don't have to, rent a bunch of additional equipment. It's all there ready to go. So yeah, that's Casita. So we've talked about Lombardi and Casita Hollywood. Our last one then is the Vermont Hollywood,
Uh,
which we are sitting at right now.
yeah, Vermont Hollywood is another one of my long-term projects. We bought this property many years ago. This was a fixed-seated theater. It was called Compass Theater,
An
uh,
old movie theater,
an
right?
old movie theater in the middle of the block. And back in the days, I guess that's how they made movie theaters. And when we took over this property, the theater was shut down for a good 14, 15 years.
It's a
Uh,
long time to be sitting empty in
yeah,
Hollywood.
it had about 4 or 5 inches of rainwater on the bottom of the floor. It was just one of those properties that was completely outdated and nobody was using it. So we tried to remodel as a fixed seated theater, but it didn't work because the floor was just sloped down. It did not have none of the entitlements, no alcohol license, nothing like that. So in 2015, I decided I gotta do something with this building. The building had a really good bones. So I applied for entitlement, and it took me about 2.5 years to secure the full entitlement for live music entertainment. We faced a lot of opposition from all the people who always sue the developers, but with a lot of grassroots campaign and uh, help with the LACC and Chamber of Commerce and a lot of local residents, I was able to overcome the opposition and secure the entitlement in 2017. And that's when we went to the construction. We built the venue even during COVID, and our first month operational was September of 2021, which is about 4 months ago, and we are in business for 4 months, and it it turned out to be a really nice music venue.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've had a lot of great artists already come through the doors, and there's just such a bright future for this concert venue. To tell you guys a little bit about the space, there is a 1,200 person capacity.
1,200% capacity.
Yep, we have a VIP lounge upstairs, which is actually where we're sitting right now. And then there also is a full green room space, which is a understatement in terms of what the green room space is. It really is almost like an apartment style VIP area for the artists, which includes a shower, their own private bar, their own lounge area, which is all backstage and actually connects to the stage so that they don't have to go through any other hallways or anything. Is completely private. They do have some outdoor space as well, which is really unique to a green room. So all the details that were just put into all three of these venues are so special, and you have such a keen eye for detail. So it's really fun to bring our clients in and sell these spaces. They really, at the end of the day, just sell themselves because each of them do have these details that are so well thought out, and you can tell that it has your own personal touch in all of them.
Yes.
Which is something that's really important to you. I remember when I started working, the first thing that you said to me is, we don't cut corners.
You don't.
We do everything the right way, and we take our time, as no matter how long that it takes. And that really spoke to me. I'll never forget you saying that. And I was just like, especially when you're out here, life moves so fast. But it does mean a lot when you work for somebody that does, even though it moves fast, that you pay attention to those details and you're making sure that that's reflected in all of the work.
Yes, I might add to all your comments regarding Vermont Hollywood is that we use the state of the art in sound system, lighting,
Absolutely.
and we our intention it was not only the fans that come to Vermont have a great time, but also the artists to have a pleasant time performing here. And to be honest with you, since the first day we opened our door, we're getting a lot of great vibes, and people like the venue. So we'll see.
Absolutely. And just before we close out, Jacques, thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me and answer all my questions. But as someone that has so much experience in creating venues, specifically in Los Angeles, what would be your biggest piece of advice to someone that is interested in creating their own project?
Again, you cannot cut corners. Takes good things takes time and hard work and persistence. I'm very blessed to be able to sustain and be able to create these environments. And again, it's just takes time. It really takes time to do something right.
Not getting impatient, making sure that you're following through to the end of the project to the best of your ability.
Yes, yes, that's definitely the key.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Uncensored Events podcast. Jacques, we appreciate you so much. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you on another appearance of an episode. And we are heading into the holidays. So hope everyone stays safe and healthy. And we will see you soon.
Happy holidays.